On your journey of becoming the best version of yourself, it is inevitable that you are going to make mistakes. From time to time, you are going to do things that you aren't exactly very proud of. You might take a sip of wine. You might have a drink for the New Year's. You may go through the drive-thru at Jack in the Box and get you a good old bacon Swiss burger. Get the curly fries too. And you might even have a cheesecake on the side. You may even smoke a little bit. But I feel like on this journey, right? This journey of like we're fasting, we're on monk mode, we're trying to abstain from these bad habits, and we're trying to fill our day and fill our entire life with the good habits like meditating, reading, journaling, prayer, focusing on God, building your relationship with Him. And a lot of the times, we tell ourselves we're going to do X, Y, or Z for 90 days straight, or we're going to stop doing this for 90 days or 120 days or whatever for a year, right? And while we are doing this, we tend to have some type of perfectionist mindset where, oh, if I mess up, it's the end of the world. If I mess up, I'm a failure. If I mess up, I'm defeated. We tend to have this mindset. Now, first of all, number one, we have to understand and believe that we don't believe in failure. So we don't believe in failure. We don't believe in defeat. So even if you slip up and you do one of these things, it is not the end of the world. Having one glass of wine, it ain't gonna do much for it. It's not gonna do much. It's not gonna do anything. It ain't the end of the world. You're not a failure. You're not an alcoholic just because you took one sip of wine. You just, whether you intended on taking that glass of wine, you wanted to celebrate, or you just done it because you couldn't, you were feeling some type of way and you felt like you wanted to just unwind, it was a mistake. And that is all it is. If you did this and you didn't want to, and you want to call it a relapse, all you can do is focus on improving and figuring out. Say you have to ask yourself this question: what did I learn from this situation? What did I learn from this mistake that I made? Because it's not so much about, oh, I went 90 days without doing this. I went 60 days without doing this. I went to the gym for 1,000 days straight and didn't take one single break. It's not about that. Because, quite frankly, that is not a sustainable way of thinking. That's not a sustainable way of going about improving yourself and making the best out of your situation. And I've been dealing with this myself, where I have this sort of perfectionist mindset to where I'm telling myself, oh, you can't have fun. You can't relax. You have to do this at this time. You got to do that at that time. And that is a little bit toxic. That's a bit of a toxic way of seeing life. Now, what's more important than you going a certain amount of time without doing something, or you fasting from that thing, is the fact that you are building self-control. That is the most important thing out of fasting, monk mode. If you take anything from any of that stuff, it's that you need to learn self-control. You need to have said item, so the wine glass in front of you, and you need to make the choice as to whether or not you want to indulge in said thing. So me, I choose not to drink alcohol because I know that alcohol is bad for me. I know it's toxic, I know it's poison, and quite frankly, I just don't want it in my body. Though sometimes there are urges for me to get drunk, but I know that alcohol is going to ruin me. It's going to change the way I think. It's going to change the way I behave. It's going to affect the way I interact with others. It's going to affect my self-image if I choose to indulge in that. So I choose not to. And if I wanted to have a drink of wine, if I want to drink a shot of liquor, I could do that. And I wouldn't get addicted to it because I choose. I have the self-control to say, I want it, I want to do it, or I don't want to do it. So it's not about, for New Year's, if I take a shot of liquor or if I take a glass of wine and drink it and I get a little tipsy or whatever, right? It's not about that. It's not about the fact that I wasn't able to go 90 days or go 170 days without drinking or without eating Jack in the Box or without doing whatever bad habit you're trying to abstain from. It's about the fact that you are making progress and you are also building self-control to be able to have the free will. You need to give yourself the free will to do these things and simply choose not to do them. And that is the way that I am operating my life currently now. Because before, I was in the mindset where, oh, I can't drink because I'm trying to improve myself. Or I know I'm an alcoholic. I know I'll be an alcoholic if I go back to it. But that's not the best way to think. I don't do it because I simply choose not to. And sometimes in life, you have to do things that, the things that I'm doing make sense. You have to do the things that make sense to you. Now, in order to build this self-control, in order to build this free will and be able to choose and not get very addicted to whatever substance you're trying to stay away from, is to go a little bit of more time without it. Just restrict yourself for, it doesn't have to be a long time. It can be just a week. It can be a few days. It's just what you are used to. So if you are used to going without said thing for about a week, go 2 weeks, right? Try to progressive overload, outdo yourself with it. And when you do this, you perform good habits and you begin to reshape the way that your mind is. You reshape your identity. And you can do this several ways. Personally, I meditate. Now I'm basically meditating for 20 minutes at a time. And when you meditate, meditating gives you self-control. You become aware of your own body. You understand your own body more. And it gives you way more self-control over your emotions, over your actions, over your thoughts, over what you can handle, like your strength and stuff like that. And so meditation is one of the things that has really helped me gain this self-control. This self-control to be able to control myself from doing things that I don't feel are best for me. And then I also do something called journaling. And this is basically just like introspection. I'm writing down my thoughts. I'm writing down the things that make me tick, or sometimes I'll even ask myself a deep question, and then I'll go, very, very deep, and I'll answer that question the best I can in complete sentences. And you can really do this however you want to, really. But usually what I'll do is I'll ask myself a question like, how am I feeling this morning? How am I feeling tonight? Or what would I want to do in 10 years? Something like that. Just go look up some deep questions you can ask yourself, or go find some, right? And you just ask yourself those deep questions. You journal. And the most important thing of all is prayer. God. You're building your relationship with God, and you're establishing your values. You are, because you can't just go to the gym or start your own business or whatever and do all this stuff, and you don't really have much of a foundation. You're just distracting yourself from it. You actually need to have a purpose, a why. Like, why am I abstaining? Why am I not going to ruin my life? What is the thing that is keeping me from ruining my entire life by drinking alcohol every day, right? What is my purpose? When you find that thing that you want to do, when you find your purpose, the purpose that you are alive, what you stand for, what you want out of life, and you can journal and ask yourself these questions, and you can pray and you can ask God these questions too. But when you finally understand that, you have a reason, you have a solid reason not to relapse, not to watch porn, or you stand for something. You have values that you aren't breaking for. You're just going to stand for those values. And that really helps you a lot in life, because one of the mistakes that I made back in the past when I was trying to stop drinking alcohol, or I wanted to go to the gym, and build muscle and stuff like that, get stronger, or I just wanted to do any project that I had, it was the fact that I was doing it for external reasons. That's one thing. I was doing everything to impress my peers and, impress my family, impress my friends. And, that's why I wanted to go to the gym. I wanted to impress my girl, And a lot of people, those are the reasons they go to the gym. Those are the reasons that they want to do what they do. But very soon you're gonna learn that those aren't long-term reasons that's gonna help you stay consistent in the long run. So you know what happened when I didn't have a strong purpose, I didn't have a strong foundation? I kept relapsing. I went back to watching porn. I went back to drinking alcohol. I went back to eating junk food. There was this, I would go to Walgreens or either CVS or something like that. And I was living in this apartment. And I would literally go into the store and buy, there was like these hot Cheetos flavored mac and cheese or something like that. Boy, man, that was good. I would literally go to the store and drive and eat that right now. It tastes really good. It's spicy, but it's very interesting the way that works. So I would go eat that. That would be one of the things I would binge on or whatever. I'd eat that a lot. And then I'd get some Cheetos. I had a very unhealthy diet. I would get some Cheetos and just dip it in some nacho cheese or whatever. And I had some alcohol, it was this screwball stuff. I always keep forgetting what the name is because it was so good. It was this peanut butter screwball stuff or whatever. And yeah, I would drink that and fall asleep or whatever, wake up, eat more junk food, fall asleep again, drink more, fall asleep, and the cycle continues. And my life was awful. That was a terrible way to live my life. And I really wanted to get out of that life. So I ended up having to just leave that city, leave that apartment altogether. And I really just started a new life and made a new identity for myself. So, and that's when I began to start finding my true purpose and what I want out of life. And like what I want out of life, I want to be surrounded by people who support me, loving, healthy community. I want to build something for myself. And I want to become more Christ-like and build a strong, close relationship with God. And before I even thought about prayer, before I got serious with prayer and meditation and all that, my life was chaotic and all over the place. So a good scripture to say, to use when you want to just literally do anything in life or get anywhere. And I say this scripture all the time, and I write it down, and I learned it. I've been reading this book, and this book has helped me learn the Bible a little bit more than, you know what I'm saying? And I'm very grateful for that. So the scripture says, I can do all things through Christ who strengtheneth me. I think that's the exact quote. So you can look it up. I can do all things through him who strengtheneth me. Yeah. And basically that's just saying that God is with you. He's always with you, and he's nearby. So whenever you have concerns in your life, whenever you need help with something, you can go to him, and he will guide you, and he will help you, and he'll guide you in the right direction and help you figure out what you want out of life. And there's also another one that says, if God be for us, who can be against us? This is basically another scripture that gives you confidence in yourself, because God is with you. So it doesn't matter who is against you, because God is on your side. As long as you have God on your side, then there's nothing to fear. There is nothing to be insecure about. There's no doubts. There's none of that stuff. And typically when we make mistakes, we feel a strong amount of guilt and shame and all that. And I mean, that's normal. It's normal to feel those emotions. It's normal to feel that. But you have to forgive yourself. And you have to ask God for forgiveness, and he will forgive you. But you got to forgive yourself, though. You can't move forward and get better and improve in something when you're constantly looking back and trying to, overanalyzing the things that you did and the mistakes that you made. Because truth is, you are human. You are a human being. Whether you're on monk mode, whether you're on self-improvement, no fab, none of this, all this stuff. We are just living life. This channel, we are just living life. We are just improving. We're just bettering ourselves. That's all. We're just bettering ourselves so we can be better people. We can live better quality lives. We can improve the lives around the people around us. So that can be your reason as to why you don't want to indulge in porn or alcohol or eat a lot of junk food. I mean, and all this stuff in moderation, it's not really that harmful, I mean, living that extremist lifestyle and stuff, because, a lot of YouTubers online will tell you that you have to go all out and you got to bulk, you got to eat 4,000 calories a day and all this stuff. And that makes your mental health, that lowers your mental health when you have this extremist mindset. And trust me, I know, because I'm trying to recover from the extremist mindset that super militant, I can't do this, I'm super restrictive and all that. And it's not a good way to live. Because what's the point? Because it's not like you're going to, like you are, okay, it's not like you're abstaining from this substance. You're not abstaining from alcohol so that you can, like in 90 days, well, you're gonna go drink, like go back to drinking or whatever. So, I mean, you're gonna want to drink a glass of wine. You want to have the freedom to, you want to have the freedom to do that. You want to have the freedom to do anything you want. You don't want to just close yourself off to it and tell yourself, oh, I can't do that. I can't do it. And a lot of the times we want free will and we want all these things. We want freedom, but you know what I'm saying? And especially with us entrepreneurs and stuff, we want freedom. We're doing this because we want the free will to choose when to do what you want to do, right? What we want to do. But we're putting ourselves into our own prison. We're locking ourselves up into our own prison by being so restrictive and telling ourselves we can't do this, we can't do that. And simply just choose to do it or choose not to do it. It's as simple as that. Because when you give yourself that free will, I don't know, when you give yourself the free will, you're actually practicing self-control. And I think self-control is way more important than, you know, trying to, because I almost feel like, you know, me not ever drinking alcohol for 90 days or 120 days, or me not fapping or whatever, or, you know what I'm saying, whatever it is, me trying to go all this time without doing it, it almost seems like it's some like bragging right, where I get to come on camera and say, oh, hey, look at me. I haven't drunk alcohol in 100 days and I'm healthy. Like, no. You're doing this for yourself. And when you are going on these streaks, it's like you're doing it for other people. You're trying to be validated. You want other people's praise and you know, oh, hey, good job, pat on the back and stuff like that. And it's like, no. I'm doing this for me. And if I choose that I want to do it, if I want to do it in moderation, if I don't want to do it, I won't do it. It's as simple as that. So never, ever beat yourself up for making mistakes, because it is inevitable and it is going to happen. We are human. We are not machines. We are not robots. And if you enjoyed this video, you found it insightful and motivational, my name is Raheem the GOAT, and I post content about mental health and fitness and spirituality, religion, you know, all types of stuff, lifestyle and all that. But yeah, just make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. And like always, never give up. Your younger self is rooting for you. Peace.